ready? Hey, think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters.
I am the queen here, the cream of the crop, and there is no one that does it better than the Macho Man Randy Savage. Woo! I've got the style and profile like never before. Well, let me tell you something, brother. I'm the man.
I am the best wrestler in the world.
They call me Hot Rod. Everybody knows it. I don't have to say what I am, because I've done it. It's showtime, folks. Woo!
Welcome, everybody, to the Real Marks of Long Island. And I'm going to let this out first. I am never, ever, ever, ever going to tweet again that I have a spoiler for this podcast because I am not Paul Heyman. I am still predictions man. Our special guest for today got sick, so that will be pushed on to another podcast down the future. And I will not be tweeting that I have a spoiler of a special guest. Justin, how's it going today?
It's going well. Unfortunate news with our guest that was supposed to be on tonight. He messaged us on TikTok saying that he was so excited that he forgot to sleep and now he is sick. So we well wishes to him, and hopefully I know next week you'll be on Long Island for something. I forget what it is though. I don't know.
Nothing important.
Yeah, nothing important. Just a birthday. But after that week, hopefully, maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whenever we can figure it out. He said he's around, so we will figure it out. We will get him on the podcast. Look forward to that. Other than that, just got the Knicks tonight, game 5. Game 5. Hopefully they can pull it out. Who knows? And that's about it. I'm ready to talk some wrestling. NXT was fucking incredible, and I think that's where we're gonna head right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, how can we not? I mean, that was a masterpiece. Cora will be joining us in a bit, but I don't get the CW, so I usually watch after the fact. And I was FaceTiming her because she was setting up her Funkos in her TV room in a nice way, and it happened to be 8:00. And the way they started that match, the just brawling, then the cutter onto the chair, I'm like, my boy Ethan Page about to pull this one out on Ricky Starks. Ricky Saints. And I was so excited. Court was rooting against me. She wanted Ricky to come out on top. But I knew when he hit that cutter on the chair, I knew he was going to target it. And I knew that would be the perfect heel way for Ethan to go over Ricky.
Dude, the cutter on the chair was so well done. I was actually like, holy shit, like I don't think that was supposed to go that way. What Ricky started having some like white, I don't know if it was spit or whatever.
He was
dude, it was so, I was like, holy shit, like perfectly executed. The whole match was great. Ava coming out, no way, no how, this match is ending with a pinfall or whatever. Excellent. It was awesome. No shame on Ricky. Ethan with his damn ego. That theme song is so goddamn catchy. Kill him with a smile. And it's Ethan Page is just on top of his stuff. And Ricky Saints, we'll get into it a little bit later, but there's some questioning as to, is his time in NXT already done? Is he also getting called up to the main roster? Well, we'll find out. Time will tell.
I could see him and Ricky and Ethan having a little more mainstay and a little bit more feud time on NXT, because I feel like that could be a mainstay feud going on, a nice rivalry. But even I think Ethan Page is main roster ready. But the man is a workhorse. He's gold. It was a matter of time before he had championship gold around his waist again. I'm glad he had a time as NXT world champion, with Obafemi at the helm. Like, there's no way. Sorry, Ethan, you ain't beating that big boy. But North American champion against, a fellow AEW transplant to NXT. And I couldn't be more happy. The false finishes, too, in that match. Even, like, every time I thought Ricky was out, dude was resilient, kicking out in the perfect times. Like, whoever produced that match, brilliance. I couldn't believe how well that was. I feel like most of this regular Tuesday night NXT should have been its own PLE because it was that damn good from start to finish.
And I know I've mentioned this before, and this is my gaming nerdness coming out, but when you play GM mode in WWE, we always say that, like, you get yelled at if you don't start the show off hot and start the show off with a banger, end the show with a banger. The fact that match happened first and we had a title change right off the bat, we should have known that we were in for a fucking treat on the CW. Like, this was not going to be any ordinary episode of NXT when you have that North American title being dropped right away like that. Like, we were buckle up. Shawn Michaels is taking us for a 2-hour ride. Like, let's go.
He really was. And, Ricky's fairly new with the championship. So I thought it'd be tough for Ethan to even pull this one out. But the way it occurred when Ava said, like, this is happening, there's going to be a winner. I'm like, my boy Ethan's going to sneak this one out. I can't wait. And then we had a glimpse of Worlds Collide where we had Laredo Kid come out. Javon Evans was, talking some smack. And then we had Ray Phoenix. So it's going to be a fatal 4-way for the North American Championship. And that's going to be a classic. I think it's perfect to have Ethan Page as the heel in this match. I think it'll drive very well, especially the story within the match, because if it was Ricky Saints, you'd have pretty much 4 faces just, battling out for who's the best, which is fine. But I want some drama. I want some story. And Ethan's going to disgrace Lucha Wrestling. I can already tell that much. He's going to do what he can to sneak that win out, and he is going to leave as still NXT North American Champion.
I'm telling you, there's going to be a spot in that match at Worlds Collide where you got Javon Evans saying, that boy is bouncy, and then you're going to have Laredo Kid do something insane, and you're going to have Ray Phoenix do something insane, and you're just going to have Ethan Page just standing there being like, I'm not doing it for you. I'm not doing any of that shit for you. I'm here to win my match. I don't have to fly in the air. And he's going to fake something, he's going to fake an over the top rope something. It's going to be perfect. Plays right to the crowd. I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah. And do you think, moving on to the Ricky Saints side of things, do you think they're writing him off a little bit because of what a vicious, loss he took? Do you think he could be moving on to the main roster? Because I think that's the trajectory people would like. Like I said before, I would rather him stay on NXT a little bit longer because I think they have some more gas in the tank between Ethan and Ricky. But I don't know. What do you think?
So shout out to Corey Hayes, PWN, a part of PWN with us. He announced that Stephanie Vakir is going to be getting called up to Monday Night Raw and Jordan Grace to SmackDown. Now, Ricky Saints, I believe he's in that contract with the money that he's making a lot more than he should be down at NXT. So I believe that was, get his feet wet in WWE. We didn't have anything for you at the time. So let's just send you down there, have you win a title, and then we'll move you back up. So, I mean, I truthfully believe that he's going to get a call up. Now, will it be right away? Probably not. I would keep him off TV for maybe a month because that was that chair spot was it's still stuck in my head. But maybe keep him off for a month. Maybe wait until whenever they're doing this WWE draft. It's still rumored. There's no official date for it, but that's when I would call him up to the main roster.
Yeah, and Court, how do you feel about Ricky dropping that title? I told everyone we were on FaceTime. Yeah, I was cheering for Ethan. You were going for Ricky.
Yep. I was FaceTime with Ty, like you said, and not expecting that whatsoever. Like, totally out of left field. But maybe, Justin, maybe you're right. I just got the tail end of that, but maybe you're right that um, Ricky comes up sooner rather than later. I think Ethan should come up too. It's the thing with NXT is like I think everybody is ready. Like all these big guys are ready, girls, guys, everybody ready to come up. So I want to see Ricky up. I want to see Ethan up. I want to see everybody come up. But damn, I was not expecting that. Like even with the chair spot, like Ty, I think we started talking just when that chair spot happened. I like FaceTimed and you FaceTimed me, whatever the hell happened. And I turned the TV on and you're like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh shit. And we looked and it was and it was that exact spot. It was like the exact moment. So I love Ricky. I'm biased and I love Ricky because of this guy. If you're listening on Spotify, I pointed to my Cody shirt. But I think Ethan, Ricky, Stephanie back here, Jordan Grace, everybody should come up. It's time. That's what NXT is for. It's for getting used to that. That's what it's there for. It's for building talent. And when they come up, you shouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, people get upset because NXT is it's pretty much its own universe, and like you said, Court, it's to get especially international wrestling stars or professional wrestling stars used to and acclimated to the WWE way, where the hard cam is, how to sell, how to perform for the crowd, because you're not performing for 100, you're not performing for 1,000, you're usually performing for between 10 to 20,000 a night, and when you go to WrestleMania and when you go to PLEs, you got between 50 and 100 something thousand people you're performing in front of. And if they're choosing you to be on the product and to be a spot on these PLEs and WrestleMania, you got to know what you're doing and you got to know how to make the crowd interested. So, yeah, let's get into Stephanie Valkyrie, JC Jane, new NXT Women's Champion to end the freaking night. And again, GM mode. High point, we had some, waves and then another high point to end the match, to end the night. And I was not expecting that. She just defended successfully on Sunday. And I thought she was, here to stay. She was here to be dominant in NXT. But it looks like they're going to push her right behind Roxanne and Julia.
I mean, with the prediction, I literally said, let her win the title, retain the title, and just let her cook in NXT for however long, because Julia just got called up. Roxanne Perez just got called up. It's like, all right, let her stay down there. But here we are. JC Jane, who deserves it. She's been here in NXT for quite some time now. She's put in the work. She's been injured. She's come back. The whole Fatal Influence. Loved it. Shocker. I love how they panned to Mike Rome. That was, I mean, I'm sure that was maybe I'm wrong here, but I thought maybe that was planned to show the shock factor. But if he had no idea, and that's and the ring bell, the timekeeper tapped him dude, this is your time. He was yeah, perfect. It was awesome. Everyone was stunned. Awesome for JC Jane. Well deserved. Can't wait to see what she can do. And now it's time for Stephanie Valkyrie to do what she can do. Build up I think that I've already seen that they're going to start building her and Io Sky for Evolution. I mean, let's go. Let's go.
Dude, that gave me the chills a little bit too, because what about that could be a change hands right there.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I think I said it last week. I think Stephanie was ready to go up. I know that everyone was like, "Oh, she can cook." Justin said, "Cook." Dude, let her flourish on the main roster. People that watch Raw and SmackDown don't know about NXT. They don't understand what's happening in NXT. They have no clue. So when they come up for a match or two, because she did on Raw, a couple times, dude, she killed it. I think before that they were already planning on, having her come up, but I'm happy for her. I think JC Jane, there could have been other champions, but she deserves it. Happy for her, and happy for Jordan Grace going to SmackDown. Apparently, great, good. We need it. Get everybody up that we need to get up. It's not that crazy of an idea that a developmental brand develops people to go up. It's like, why is that so difficult for the internet wrestling community to figure out? I don't get it. So I'm happy with everything except Ricky Saints losing. I'm not happy about that, but besides that, if Ricky goes up in 2 weeks to a month, I'll be happy. But the Vikir, and give it to me. I'm ready.
Do you think so? If the goal is to push Valkyr and Io Sky, what about Jordan Grace? Is she U.S. title material? Does she go straight for Tiffany Stratton? Are we looking as like a takeover again, where these NXT women who are more than ready to roll and be at the top of the game and be at the top of the rosters just to take over and unleash hell? Because then you got Jordan Grace and you got Julia on SmackDown to, gunning for whatever championships. They're not going to sit idly by. Triple H is probably very excited to use them on the roster, and especially with Roxanne and Stephanie Valkyr. And look at Roxanne, already in with the Judgment Day, already causing some trouble. Dirty Dom getting his nuggies from Roxanne, and Liv comes back, and now Liv is talking, a little bit of smack to Raquel. You're the vet. Why are you letting this happen? Not blaming Roxanne. Judgment Day just is going to a whole nother story, but the women's roster and the women's roster within Raw and SmackDown is about to explode, and I can't wait to see what stories come out of it.
With Jordan Grace, obviously it hasn't been made official, but obviously I believe Corey has been spot on with everything that he's pretty much put out there. If Jordan's coming to SmackDown, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where she starts mixing it up, because is it going to be Chelsea Green? Is it going to be the Secret Hervis? There are a few options there. But we have Evolution coming up. Evolution it's on its way. I was listening to Sam Roberts, and it really put things into perspective with how we have Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide are next week. And then boom, it's that, and then Evolution, and then we got SummerSlam. So it's every 3 weeks we're gonna have something big here during over the summer for WWE. So do they call her up? I don't know when they call her up. I saw that Stephanie might be as soon as this Monday coming up. Not sure about Jordan Grace, but it will be interesting to see where she kind of falls into place. And like you mentioned, with the NXT now women's roster losing Julia, Stephanie Valkyr, Jordan Grace, there's got to be something coming to Shawn Michaels. I mean, sure, the roster has been stacked.
We know who's coming.
The roster has been stacked, but obviously there's been rumors about Mariah May. Will it be Mariah May? And how funny would it be if she debuted in WWE the weekend of All In Texas for AEW?
At the same time, right?
Yep.
Isn't it the same fucking time slot?
Yep.
Amazing. But real quick on the, everyone leaving at the same time. Everyone's so mad. They have such a deep bench. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They have so many people that, me and Ty were talking about earlier. Lola Vice, Sol Ruka. You have, and I'm just doing that off the top of my head, but you have such a deep bench. And Mariah May, if she comes. Like, you have so much. Everyone's like, oh, NXT got fleeced, NXT got fleeced, NXT. Like, no, it didn't, dude. That is what they are there for. It's bothering me. If you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I see that.
It really fucking is. I don't know why, but it is. Like, leave it be. Like, that's what it's there for. Like, you think Sean Spears needs to be in NXT? Nah. You think Ricky Saints needs to be in? Nah. You think Ethan Page? Nah. Like, come on, dude. Think 11 years ago, actually, side note, 11 years ago today, Tyson Kidd, TJ, had a match with Neville. Oh, crap. I forgot.
Yeah.
Who were the other two? It was a fatal four-way.
I think Tyler Breeze in
Tyler
it.
Breeze and oh god, I don't remember the fourth. Sorry, DJ, if you're listening. Sorry, but like that was a big talent coming down to help, and all those guys turned into talent. So it's a developmental brand. Develop and go. That's what you're meant to do. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Yeah. Sorry, you sidetracked us a bit to go back into your rant about NXT being a developmental brand.
Sorry.
No worries. But yeah, I mean, Mariah May would be epic to be on that roster. And if she were to combat against Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm in like the biggest women's match in AEW history, I think at this point will be, that would be insane. And who's going to draw? I mean, I think WWE has the leg up, but I'm not going to lie. The match that I want to see for the women's division in AEW is Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm. Does Mercedes keep winning? Does she add another title to her collection? Or does Toni Storm come out as the woman in AEW?
You got to go with Toni. If Mercedes keeps winning, I am so over the women's brand there because you're not building anything. You're simply not building anything. As good as Mercedes is, they've booked this into this issue. They have self-inflicted themselves with this issue of Mercedes not losing. And yes, she lost the one title. Whoop-de-doo. She just won the Owen Hart. We called that. And now she's going to face Toni Storm. Toni Storm is the hottest thing going in AEW. We've mentioned it. We've said it. That character, everything about it. She dove in the deep end on this character, and she might go home to what's his name, Juice Robinson, and she might still be in character. Like, who knows? Like when the TV screens are off, she still might be in character because that's how damn good she is. So you got to go with Toni there, but that'll be for our prediction show. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and I just think like it has to be Toni too, because Mercedes has just been this powerhouse, and Toni has been an AEW, pretty much day oneer and slaying it. And I think she deserves it. I think she deserves to stay at the top of the mountain. Even little things like Luther in her matches, always like, she's like this face, but he also gets involved in like in a heel way and tries to like, fake out either, her opponents in any way he can. And he always gets abused. Like, it's everything that she brings with her as her gimmick that really just is such a highlight. I'd be pretty like, I've always been a big fan of Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné, but it would be a real bummer if Toni Storm loses that match.
There's no doubt in my mind that Mercedes needs to lose that match. Like, she has to. There's no way, or else every title, like Kenny Omega was the belt collector, but I enjoyed that belt collector run. This I'm not enjoying. Like, sure, the matches are fun, but the outcome is predictable. It's Mercedes Moné getting her hand raised at the end of every single match.
Yeah, it's time. It's time that she could be a champion. She can be one champion. She can be two champions. There's no need for four. Like, it's it's ridiculous. It's stupid. She is a great wrestler. She just, I think, and this is just my thoughts. It's a podcast. I feel like she's so mad at WWE for the way they handled her that she's lashing out and like, screw you. Look what I can do. 1 title, 2 title, 3 titles, 4 titles. Like, let me just topple them on top of each other and like, look what you missed out on. It sucks. I am over it. I like Ty said, he's a big fan. I am too. Always have been. But I just can't. I can't. I can't get invested anymore right now. Like right now, it's whatever. It's okay. She's gonna win. Okay, another title, another defense, all good. And I'm done with it. So.
Well, speaking of belt collecting, I kind of want to go that route a little bit. We had Kenny Omega win the TNA World Championship in the past as an AEW superstar. We have Trick Williams as the new TNA champion. Is he going to be on Impact tonight? I know they announced him to defend the title against Santana next week on NXT, not TNA. Is he just going to hold the TNA championship hostage on NXT, or is he going to show up on the brand that he's the champion of?
No, he's got to show up tonight. He has to. That's the reason why they're doing this thing, right?
Real quick, what channel is that?
It's on Axis, or to get the Impact Plus subscription.
No, Axis. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's let me get into the promo real quick. So the promo on NXT, did you feel like it was forced, him like trying to act heel?
I think it's hard because the fans love him over in NXT. And this is like, when Booker's behind someone, like, especially if they're heel or face, like, they're getting shot to the moon. Like, I'm surprised Booker's not following Stephanie back here to Raw because the crowd can do it now. But it's not the same without Booker. But Booker's always been huge with Trick, with his entrances and everything. He's behind Trick, regardless he's a face or whether he's a heel. And with that kind of like compassion and energy towards, from a announcer to a superstar, it radiates at times. And Trick is just the total package. How do you hate him? Even as a heel, he could talk shit. Look what's happening with John Cena. You got all the people that are trying to pretend to hate, like, love him, even though, I'm not impressed yet, but I'm just a hater for John Cena right now, so whatever. But Trick is just too hard to hate. And I think people still have the mentality NXT versus TNA or WWE versus TNA. Why is the NXT crowd going to root against their guy, even though he's the heel?
I'm trying to figure out how to like.
That's a really good point though. Like, that's your guy. Like, imagine it was. I know you guys are both Jet fans, so Jets Giants, right? And Eli Manning gets traded to the Jets, and he's killing it on the Jets. You guys are happy because you're Jet fans, but I'm semi-happy because he's my guy. So, like, it's like a torn thing. Like, TNA fans, maybe they're pissed because he jumped from one, their title is not on him anymore. He's not in their company anymore, but he is their champion. So, like, let them cheer for their champion. But NXT, like, oh, you went in there and took their title? You're a badass. Like, so it's like weird. It's hard to explain, and I don't think Jets Giants does it, but in my head, that's what came to me. So.
Trick Williams said that NXT didn't appreciate him, which I don't see how that is, because like you said, the whoop that trick, everyone was chanting whoop that trick. And even when he was having that feud with Joe Hendry, people were chanting average Joe. So there were people there. It wasn't like he was getting completely booed. And then out of nowhere, he wins the title. And then he was trying to force that. Obviously, he said he's going to TNA. I expect him on TNA tonight. He has the match with Mike Santana. They're trying to make him a heel. What I'm trying to say is they're trying to make him a heel, and I don't think it's working. Period.
No,
it's not. They're trying to force a heel turn by Trick, but he has such a catchy theme and everything that, like you said, Court, like you don't want to turn on your guy. They never really turned on him to begin with.
Exactly.
So that's the issue. Like they tried to force a heel turn on Trick, and it's just, for me right now, it's not working. We'll see tonight on TNA. NXT superstar walking into TNA. We'll see if it changes, but right now it's Mike Santana, who is great. I want to get into his debut too on NXT because I thought he was great. Santana versus Trick. They're trying to book Trick as the heel, but right now to me it's kind of tweener Trick versus face Santana.
Yeah, and Santana got over pretty well with the NXT crowd.
Yeah, he did.
And rightfully so, man. Like I really haven't seen him because I don't watch too much TNA since, his stink back in AEW with, Jericho and everything. Like, and I loved him, over there. And I'm glad to see him like with people behind him by himself doing his thing. I am curious to see tonight if Trick gets booed the hell out, because obviously there's going to be a face off between Santana and Trick tonight. There has to be, if they're going to hype up this match on next Tuesday.
Yep.
But I'm kind of convinced the TNA crowd might boo the shit out of Trick. I mean, I want that. I would love it. But again, Trick is very polarizing, very popular. Do they rally behind him, or are they going to be sour because their guy Joe Hendry dropped the title? I don't know. But I can't wait to see more of Santana and Trick. Maybe we'll see more of Santana after this on NXT doing some jump overs. Who knows?
So on our prediction show, I said that it would come out that Trick Williams was the leader of Dark State. I might have jumped the gun a little bit, because now I cannot believe we're getting Santana versus Trick Williams so soon. That's where now I think we're going to get Dark State in NXT helping out Trick Williams. That's probably where we will get that full-blown heel turn, because in my head, I was thinking that we were going to get Slammiversary Trick Williams versus Santana. That's probably going to be part 2 at this point, because if we're getting it next week, we have to get Trick Williams heel, and we have to make sure he stays heel. So now we show that he is the leader of Dark State. Dark State comes out and helps him, and that's where the full-blown heel turn happens. And now we have part 2 where Santana wins it back at Slammiversary. That's the only thing in my head now.
But do you think Santana's big enough for that to go over with? I feel like, in my eyes, I would see the rematch between Hendry and Williams and that happen. And the Dark State comes out and screws Hendry from winning back the championship. I feel like that would leave some extra story for Hendry and Williams to, continue over some more time. I don't think Santana really has that much power to sway, especially the NXT universe.
Santana's really over in TNA. He is super over in TNA. It's him and Hendry, him and Joe Hendry battling it for the top babyface spot in TNA. And we all know, it's no secret, Joe Hendry's contract is running up in a few months, and you know where he's signing. There's no secret to that. So at this point, why are we going to continue to build Joe Hendry as our champion when we know he's going to leave? So that's why, even on the quick count, we were like, what's next for Joe Hendry? We don't know, because there's no storyline for him right now. This is now Mike Santana's company, and you saw the pop that he got on NXT. The guy is over. The guy bet on himself, leaving AEW, leaving Ortiz, and he is getting himself over as much as you possibly can be, without any gimmicks here or there. He's just a dude from the Bronx that likes to fight. So
Boricua.
yeah, yes, exactly. So I see it as Santana losing next week. And we know, like I said, Trick Williams gets help by the Dark State, full-blown heel turn, and then you build up to Slammiversary.
I think that's fair. Let's shoot over to some AEW. We have Hangman, who's going to be challenging Moxley for the championship. And we had a very, very interesting promo between Hangman, Swerve, and Ospreay. And Justin, take it, because you called it a little bit on the quick count.
Yeah, it's kind of weird now because Swerve still doesn't believe Hangman, right? He's still, I mean, why would you? Hangman burnt down the guy's house. I would not trust you. Like, if you all of a sudden turned a good guy, I was like, you still burnt down my goddamn house. Like, I'm still gonna be pissed at you. So rightfully so. I see where Hangman's coming from, like, Swerve's still a piece of shit to Hangman, but Hangman's also a piece of shit to Swerve, right? So here we are. We just had this great bout, which I'm still not happy Will Ospreay lost, but
yeah, I'm not either.
But we'll get there. The only option now is that Hangman has this. Everyone loves cowboy shit. Cowboy shit. Everyone loves cowboy shit. He could be a bad guy. He's like in between right now, to me at least. He's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's just here to beat people up and win titles. The only way this makes sense now is if at All In, the Elite, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, were incognito the whole time, acting, becoming buddies with Moxley and the Death Riders, and at All In, we have the payoff where they turn on him and Hangman wins, and the Elite is all faces again, and they celebrate at All In. That's it to me. But I'm still sour grapes over Will Ospreay losing.
Yeah, I like what Swerve said, about Nick and Matt Jackson. Like, did you orchestrate this? And Swerve said it. He's like, I still think you're full of shit. I think it adds a new element to it because, as I said on the quick count, I thought that Hangman was going to be the one to take out Moxley, and I think that's still possible. But throwing these variables into this match now where you have, are the Jacksons going to interfere? Are they going to get involved? If Swerve and Ospreay, if Swerve gets on the same page as Ospreay and he's trying to get involved too, but then sees the Jacksons, like, what kind of mayhem is this going to cause? Does this cause Moxley, which I don't think should happen? I think Death Riders need to get put to bed. We've been saying this for months now. But if that happens, does Moxley retain?
I mean, Moxley cannot retain. There's no way in any universe should Jon Moxley retain this title. I actually see this as All In is AEW's WrestleMania. This is kind of building and setting up for like when Cody won the title, where it was like the Avengers and everyone came out and it was left and right, mayhem left and right. Like, we're going to get the Jacksons. We're going to get Swerve. Swerve's going to come out and finally help Hangman. You're going to have Will Ospreay. You're going to have, I don't know. It's going to get nutty. But the only outcome now is Hangman Adam Page as the new world champion, breaking the briefcase and showing the title for the first time in God knows how many days it is.
I think it's 7 months at this point. It'll be 8.
Ridiculous. Whatever it is, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced now. I kind of am on the edge with this. I think it would be like WrestleMania 39 when everyone was like, oh, Cody's got this in the bag, and Roman comes in and wins it and steals it. Solo comes in and screws Cody. I think there could be an element there. Do I want it? Fuck no. But I'm not going to be surprised if it goes that way.
No, he might keep it just for the fuck you factor. Like, truthfully, like the fuck you factor. Like, oh, you think we can't keep doing this? We're gonna keep doing it. Like, he's gonna keep it, John's gonna keep it, and he's gonna keep it. No one's gonna see the title for 10 months. We're gonna go to a year. No one's gonna see the title in a year. Like, it's totally accurate. Like, that's such a, it's bad booking. I don't want that. But if I had $1 billion and ran my own wrestling company and I could choose the booking, maybe.
Yeah, I something in my core feels it. And if that happens though, I think that would lead to no one else but Ospreay to be the one to do it. Because if Swerve and Hangman have this blood feud where they're never going to let each other win the championship, you know who's not locked in that feud? Will Ospreay. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of options to happen now. That I was very confident on Monday what I saw going into the future, but that segment kind of changed things for me.
Yeah, I don't know when Will Ospreay is going to win that title, and it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I thought there was a clear path. I thought there was only one move to make, but if they're swerving, no pun intended, we just gotta wait and see what happens with Will Ospreay now.
Yeah, crazy times. I'm excited. I'll be less excited if Moxley does win, but I'm still excited. I think
Oh, sorry. Go.
Yeah, I think they have a great card shaping up. I think it's gonna be top tier, and I don't know. I think WWE might have a hard time combating that. Because that's what the same night as Evolution we said,
Evolution,
right? Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be tough to combat. I mean, I think Evolution will still probably end up with more viewership. But who knows?
Well, to be fair, Evolution, if you have a Peacock subscription, it's free. Yeah, like you said, all AEW events are still pay-per-views, so you got to pay for them. So, obviously it's their biggest event of the year. I still think we might see Mariah May somehow. If she shows up on Evolution, then that's a curb stomp right there to TK.
Tony's gonna have a spaz attack in the back. He's just gonna lose it. He's gonna lose his mind. Because go ahead.
And I think this is the second Evolution, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't Tony Storm on the first one?
Yeah, she was, but that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long.
That was here on this island.
Yeah.
Real quick. Never mind. Not real quick. It's never real quick when I talk about Cody. So
I already knew you were going to bring up Cody just based off the real quick. Say it.
No, because it's not real quick. It's gonna take like a 10-minute segment. I'm not doing it. We haven't talked about Cody coming back. And
bring him up. He's back. Comes out. Saturday Night Main Event.
I called it. Everyone told me it was stupid.
But you said R-Truth was gonna win because of Cody.
Okay. Fucking Jey Uso won because of Cody. Oh God, I can't speak. Look, so happy. My boy's back. Let's go.
Let's go. Kept it nice, quick, and simple over there.
I cut a lot out of that. A lot.
Yeah, I know that. I see that. I was waiting for at least 5 minutes, not 5 seconds. But yeah, I mean, that leads to Gunther versus Jay. I'm excited for that. Money in the bank. That's going to be big. Jay told him he's going to choke him out again. Make him tap out.
Ty, what was that song?
Money in the Bank. Show me what you. I don't know. It's an SVR, but it's on my phone. I still have it on my phone.
I know it happens. Like we play it all. You play it all the time.
We all
Money in the Bank. No, you play it. Whatever. We hear it all the time.
But yeah,
All right.
Sorry, guys.
no, I just want to talk about that real quick because I think that can go either way. I don't know if Gunther is gonna take it back, but does Jay have that quick of a run? As I've stated in the past, I feel like it's up in the air.
Wait,
Gunther's seeming confident.
Jay
I don't know.
Gunther at Money in the Bank?
Yeah, isn't it at Money in the Bank?
No, Jay Gunther is Jay's Cody's tag team partner at Money in the Bank. No.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. It's then SummerSlam.
Well,
SummerSlam.
wherever. So
Is it announced? Maybe I'm going
Jay,
too far.
Jay and Gunther are in like 2 weeks
Oh,
or 3 weeks. Yeah, it's just a regular match, and that's where Goldberg's going to appear.
Well,
that's
can
where-
I? Sorry.
You're good.
No, go.
You're good. No, you're good.
But do you remember when I said on the podcast, Goldberg does not show up unless he's in Atlanta? And guess where Saturday Night's main event is? Atlanta.
So
So I just want to tap myself on the
but when is that? When is that Saturday Night Main Event?
July 12th or June? No, July 12th, I think.
Is that because that's not 3 weeks away either? Because like I feel like if that was the case, maybe if they're wrestling on Raw, it goes to DQ and then they have a rematch at Saturday Night Main Event where it's in Atlanta and Goldberg does show up, unless they want Gunther and Goldberg for Saturday Night Main Event in Atlanta.
No, he's gonna show up in Atlanta. It'd be a SummerSlam match.
Okay.
That's my guess. I don't know.
June
think-
June 9th, they're fighting.
Oh, so that's
2 weeks. That's what I said.
2 weeks. Okay, yeah. Mhm.
No, that's Money in the Bank.
No,
the Money in the Bank is next week.
7th. Yeah, June 7th is the Saturday,
So
and then
what's
June 9th is the
June 9th?
Monday.
It's
Oh,
Monday
that's
Night Raw.
No,
It's a
that's
Mon-
Jay and Gunther. I'm talking about Goldberg now.
Yes, Goldberg is going to show up June 9th, I'm sure, to interfere. So that's my guess. That is my prediction.
Sorry.
And Jay will retain.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I think we've gotten through our little scroll, if you're watching, of topics this week. Make sure to check us out on the socials, TikTok, X, YouTube. Appreciate it. I've been trying to get more hands-on with some social stuff. But yeah, make sure to check us out, and we'll see you on the next one.